Hey, it's 1:11 on the East Coast. That's January 11th. That's the day I was born, and at 1:11. And it's my lucky number, 111, sign of the angel. Here to be of service, a beloved servant to all, to help all that I can. Jake Shear, how are you? Great to see Jakey Bakey. Two Jakes first on the thing, and the montrepreneur is here. Courtney is here. Let's get some questions going. Let's pin up this Friday's information. How do you register for my 1111? How do you register? Happy birthday, Ryan. Anyway, how do you register for our pitch competition? How do you register for free training on Friday? How do you register to get my free book? David at dmeltzer.com, 949-298-2905. And that's pinned for everyone to see. Houston is in the house, property guys. Good morning, good morning. We got questions coming? Perfect. Let's get them going. Thank you, Andrew. Can you explain what you mean when you say a tree has no branches? I'm talking about unification. The number one thing that people are looking for is to unify. If a tree has no branches, then it's all unified in one. You cut off one branch, it hurts the whole tree. All the other leaves, branches, roots, bark, the tree is at jeopardy. One branch would not go to war against another branch. So when I say a tree has no branches, it's to encourage, inspire people to realize that we are all one big tree connected by roots and roots and trunks and branches and leaves and all the other things that are included and attached. And trust me, the whole tree feels it if one branch would attack another branch. So let's not do it. No more conditions, judgments. Let's do our best in order to live at our highest potential. And that's why I do these things every single day to help and to empower others. Nick, welcome, my friend. What is the number one thing young entrepreneurs should study to give themselves an upper hand? Human nature. They should study history. You want to have the upper hand? Study human nature. All the sales cycles, all the economic, social cycles, all the things are relative to scarcity and abundance and the great conflict between the two. There is enough of everything for everyone, and you can learn the lessons to avoid the pain, right? Pain is an indicator that you have lessons to learn. And so let's expedite the lesson learning by studying history. Human nature never changes. Excellent question there, my dear friend. Let's keep them coming. Keep the questions coming. Thank you, Nadala. Hello, how do I approach people in the DMs without seeming like a scammer or just another salesperson? Ask questions, right? Ask questions. Be more interested than interesting. Don't make claims. Don't push feature and benefits on people. Ask how you can be of service or of value. Ask open-ended questions. What are you doing today? What do you like about it? What don't you like it? Don't just assume you can say, hey, I got the greatest social media company in the world and I can give prizes away and get you a whole bunch of followers that like getting free prizes. Don't do that, right? Ask questions. Learn about somebody. See how you can bring value to them. Ask open-ended questions, then direct them with close. Hey, would it help you if I was able to do this for you? Would it help you if I was able to do this? I know someone that could do this. Would that help you? So be more interested than interesting, and you can DM whoever you want. People are looking for value, and you can provide it. How to break the cycle of getting depressed again and again and again? Well, the first thing that I tell people to do is look within the quantum nature. Start looking for patterns of what your potential is, of where the chain needs to be broken in depression, anxiety, fear, all of those different things that have a variance of different factors that are involved in appetite and nutrition and exercise and genetics and circumstances and stress and all these different variables that you can one by one get into the consistent, persistent habit of improving upon and expanding upon and accelerating past all of that for yourself. Very good. All right, let's keep them coming. We got so many good questions. Thank you. What's the difference between giving to receive and receiving to give? Thank you, Jacob. That was a major shift for me. So when you think about the idea, the more I give, the more I receive, it's conditional. It's conditional upon that you're giving to receive. You're in a constant negotiation. You're trading. I'm going to give so I can receive. And you can see that it creates that type of tension, that type of negotiation in trade. It's not unconditional. What if we shifted the paradigm and said to ourselves that I already have the intent to give, but in order to give all that I can with my inventory of values aligned with those personal, experiential giving and receiving, I'm going to receive as much as I can so I can give. It's going to come through me with appreciation, duality of appreciation. One, I'm so grateful for it coming through me, but two, I'm going to appreciate it, that which I receive. I'm going to appreciate that which I receive, add value to that which I'm going to receive and give it away. When I have the purest intent to allow things to come through me for my family, friends, associates, city, state, country, world, when that is my intention, to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, to allow me to receive as much as I can so that I can appreciate it with gratitude and add value, that is the shift in the paradigm compared to I'm going to give everything away so I can get it back or get more back. That's a trade. That's a negotiation. That's a judgment. Don't want to do that. All right, keep these questions coming. Everyone, what have you found to be the best approach and method to empowering others? Patience. Honestly, patience has to be the number one criteria of empowering others, because it's not what you say, it's what they hear. It takes a long time of repetition in order to effectuate the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious continuum of creating an empowered being with the exact purpose that they would like to effectuate with what you've taught them. So patience, patience, patience. Realize that you are planting seeds under trees that you may never sit under, that you need to have the patience to allow it to harvest, to allow it to grow. So patience is the number one thing that we're looking at there. Keep them coming. Great questions. They just fill up. This is wonderful. What is your best piece of advice for someone who wants to be an entrepreneur? Best piece of advice, stay in business. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you must have the ability to have the prey drive, as Coach Bird always says. You need to have the ability to must be what you can be. You must stay focused on staying in business and learning the lessons of pain, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, and financial pain. It all comes with being an entrepreneur. So you need to be resilient with the elasticity in order to spring back, to turn those setbacks into setups. And that's what we're going to teach on Friday. 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Please register for our free training. Invite your friend, family, associates. Pass those numbers and emails around. 949-298-2905. Go ahead, text me or email me, david@dmeltzer.com. And you can register for free training. You can register for free pitch competition. You can register for free books, free exercises, free guides. Go ahead, david@dmeltzer.com, and you can be the best entrepreneur that you can be. I will help you for free. If it's free, it's me, and now it's for you too. At this stage of your life, what is something that you still seek to understand more of? Oh my goodness, more of what I don't know. Right? I don't know what I don't know. I want to seek more radical humility, how I can get out of my own way, practice ending fear, staying out of the ego-based consciousness. I want to practice not creating interferences, voids, and shortages in my life. I want to live at peace, at center, provide the abundance of the universe through me. I want to do that, and I'm practicing every day to do that. I have 2 words next to my nightstand. They're not thank you, although those are great words. It's actually radical humility. And humility goes a long way. Let me grab Chris Ross here, my emotional, intelligent brother. And here we have the man from the Win Effect podcast that I was on Monday. There he is. No joke.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up? Warm it up, Chris.
Yeah. Did crisscross, did a little dance and everything else. So what's going on, my man? How you doing?
Oh, I am just living a blessing every day. Things do not turn out the way I expect them to. They actually turn out better.
Yeah,
it's
always a blessing. It's always a blessing. I mean, I start every day. Like we had a conversation about this prior, but start every day with the right intentions and walking in my office, right, and getting myself ready to serve and be blessed. And next thing you know, and nothing ever turns out the way they expect. It turns out better, but we have to be adaptable to change at all times. That's the way I look at it. So I feel the same way. Any day to NZNY, my man. Any day.
You got it, man. It's like the roadmap. People ask me some roadmap to success. I said, my roadmap looks like this every day. I'm going to start where I don't want to be. I'm gonna angle towards where I want to be, and I'm gonna end up somewhere better. That's my roadmap.
Right. That's one proven roadmap that always leads you to, complete fulfillment in life. That's for sure. But
Yeah.
dude, man, 22,000 downloads since Monday, man. Your episode. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Nuts.
It's a blessing. More and more people, I think, are resonating with what we're doing. That there's a pragmatic world that needs to be blended with faith.
Yeah.
And faith doesn't have to be in a religious context, although it can be. I'm just open to anyone having the belief that they have a better potential to pursue, and that they can empower others, elevate others, live in an abundant universe, and unify, see the commonalities, the superpowers that we have. And, in the context of that, the win effect that, your podcast, emotional intelligence is such a big part of it. And I didn't really get into it too much because
yeah, we didn't.
yeah, which is cool because I grew up in the academic intelligent world, right? The GATE test, the Mensa, the Wexner Fellows. My parents, my mom especially, the academia was so important. And at a young age, I wasn't one to study as hard as my siblings who were the Ivy Leaguers. But she would always say, Dave, you have extraordinary emotional intelligence. She was in education.
It's extremely rare.
I had no idea what she was talking. Right. What does that mean? Can you help me explain?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it's very similar paths that we kind of grew up in, just different ways. My mother was adopted twice, and my sister, older sister, was born a handicap. So, and a lot of things and a lot of triggers, I was very much aware of what's not happening and not getting yelled at or not being punished or whatever. So we all are blessed with this gift. Some just a little bit more aware of it, but you have to be aligned within your own self to be able to be a little bit more emotional intelligence. It goes with everything I teach in sales, that I ask questions to discover, but I ask questions to hear what you're not telling me as well, because I'm going to look for the emotional patterns of self-destruct potentially for yourself. And when I learn how to ask the right questions and narrow inning, they'll end up saying to me, Chris, this is the reason why I want to do this. This is why I want to do it. And I'm like, well, imagine that. I just lead them to it. And they'll end up coming with their own assumptions, their own decisions themselves. But the emotional intelligence, I think that's where you're seeing a huge gap in the marketplace today, because people try to motivate people through a text message or an email. That's not going to motivate people and get people to drive them to a call of action. You got to reach out and be able to listen, man. Like, what's going on in your world? You lead with empathy. You lead with all these things, and you being a little bit more emotional intelligent, you can drive any conversation to be positive. Any conversation.
And you specifically apply it to sales as well. My favorite one-liner in sales is people buy on emotion for logical reasons. And I tell a great story about my first Ferrari, how I must have justified logically why I bought that Ferrari to every single person when it was an emotional purchase, right? I had all these different things driving it. But one of the things that you need to combine with the emotional part of selling is, I think, to back it with the quantitative value. Right? Yes. And I think you do such a nice job in your program. You talk about a lot on the podcast as well, how the emotional side allows them to be motivated or aligned or share a vision, but you still have to articulate value, because if you don't, the person won't say, Chris, here's the reason I want to do it. If you haven't given them the ammo, if you haven't given them the math, they're going to say, hey, that makes me feel really good, but I'm not doing it.
Right, exactly. You got to share a vision. You have to share a vision. You have to share that, and that's a mutual agreement. Can you see what I'm seeing? Here's what's possible. Do you feel that? Can you visualize what that would look like for you? What impact would it make in your life for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 years, 10 years down the road? When people enroll into a program, or companies that I'm teaching now, the corporation, just different capacities, still serving. But when I'm working with them, I'm trying to get them to realize the impossible is possible. And it's all about you seeing what I'm seeing and changing your perspective and changing your narrative. Or maybe could be just re-anchoring a certain emotion where they could be just feeling the wrong emotion. Like, there's always, what's right is always available, what's wrong is always available. My job is to help them see it. And once they're able to see it, then they go, Chris, I can probably do this. Dave, I can probably accomplish this. So now we're focusing on a solution. Now we're not focusing on the problem. That's where you can really drive people in a positive way. And I 100% believe it goes with everything I believe in, living an abundant lifestyle. When you make that shift, it's a game changer, because now I'm not focusing on how I can make money from this encounter or this sale. How can I make more of an impact with them in the next 5 to 10 years? And that's where, I mean, I've sold for so many companies, and now that, me training companies and corporations now in trade schools. But when I see people succeed on whatever they're doing, they keep following me everywhere I go, Dave.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go. And it's about how I made them feel, not what I was selling them.
Right, which Michelangelo always said, right? It's not what you say, it's how you made them feel. And beyond that, what you're talking about is how important emotional intelligence is also to be what I call a way maker and a promise keeper, meaning you have managed and developed that vision. So beyond, I tell people you can share a vision, but you're 20% of the way there. What makes Chris Ross is that he is a way maker and a promise keeper. He takes that emotional connection and he keeps his promise and he makes it happen so that those people then are true and authentic in their emotional attachment to what you shared, and they share it with others with the same, it's called enthusiasm, which means, right, God with connected to the higher source of power. When you're enthusiasm, entheos is with God, with power, with purpose, right? This is where passion comes from. Well, when you have a passionate customer, nothing sells you better.
No, completely. I mean, I get the best people that come from me. I'm not enrolling them. I'm not selling them or anything. I'm actually selling everybody they know. That's how I don't want to ruin. I don't want to ruin their
say that again for everyone to hear, because it's not what we say; it's what they hear. Sometimes these little subtle things that you say go past. This is huge, everybody. Listen to this point that he just made. Go again, say it again.
I'm not, when I'm going and I'm working with someone individually, I'm not selling just to them. I'm selling to everybody they know, indirectly or directly, everyone they know, their network. But you don't want to. I love what I do so much that I don't want to ruin their experience of being sold by me.
Right.
I just don't want to ruin I want to increase their experience. How can I make it better? And I even ask these, and it all comes from this, is I even ask the questions towards the end of the enrollment process. Dave, I know that you had a great time during this experience, and any way that I can improve and make more of an impact with future customers, do you think? Right. A lot of people don't ask that question because they don't give it crap. They don't give a crap. They're just moving on to the next one. Well, that one person is going to bring me 5, 10, 15 different types of possibilities. I've had people that I've enrolled into just in school programs 15 years ago when I started my journey, that they come back to me and they've been part of my success, been part of my journey, and they feel that. So it's just living that abundant lifestyle, man. It's just trying to make an impact. How can I help more? How can I serve more? I mean, it's just little subtle things that we drop every once in a while. Someone will pick up. That's how I feel about podcasting. I mean, do you feel a similar way? Someone will hear one thing and make an impact in their life.
Oh yeah, and you never know what it's going to be or how it's going to help. And it's amazing. I think even furthermore too, throughout the entire sales process, that idea, if you have the idea that you're selling to everyone out there, right, through them, then it also holds true why people are afraid to ask for help, because I give people the best question you could ever ask at the beginning before you have the emotional connection, which is simply, do you know anyone that can help me?
Oh, wow.
That's the easiest, most emotional way to build a pipeline, because you're not asking them, you're going through them, just like you said, and respecting the connectivity and what they have in a network of Ben Franklin effect, I call it, of asking to be an investment of theirs and allow them to share their network with you by saying, do you know who can help me? I'm looking for people that need this or want this or can do this or help me do this. I know this. I check my sent box every day to see how many times I'm asking still, because I know it's so consistently for me. I'm amazed how many emails I don't have it in. Great as I can sell. The other thing I want to point out real quick before you have to go, what happens if you don't sell to everybody else, all their people, is that you oversell. You end up overselling, back end selling, lying, manipulating, and cheating them.
Because you get an emotional attachment to that sale. I have zero emotional attachment to any sale or any encounter. Zero emotional attachment. What I'm here to do is I'm here to show you what's possible with X product, service, good, t-shirt, popsicle. And I want to see if you're aligned with that, and can that be a service to you? Can it make an impact with you? If it doesn't, maybe you're not the type of person that I should be working with, and I'll hang up and move on, right? So it's re-qualify me being in an education field for so long. Like you have to properly qualify people. You know, that's what
Yeah.
a lot of salespeople don't do.
But you know what I like about podcasts too, Chris, and you started by saying how many downloads that we got when we were together.
Mhm.
I'll have really famous people on my podcast, as you know,
Mhm. Yeah.
and it won't do shit, excuse my language, because they have no ambassadorship, right?
Hmm.
They're
That's
an
a good point.
entertainer. They're a known entity. They have a following, right? They're an entertainer. But,
Hmm.
a guy like you or a Mooseburger who has, real compelling story, real lessons to learn
Hmm.
that address similarities of people, those go off. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Right.
Jim Quick, a guy like Jim Quick, you
Oh,
know,
that's amazing story.
right?
Amazing
Like
story. Yeah.
like the broken brain story. But half the people out there are like, who's Jim Quick? Meanwhile, I think he's one of the top people that I've had that brings an audience because he has an ambassadorship.
Mhm.
Because why? He sells through people to others.
Exactly. Beautiful. Well
Yeah,
said. I mean, like selling through people to others is like my dedication to becoming 1% better each and every day has been to my saving grace in life. Because when that's a hard dedication to yourself and it takes a lot of discipline. Because I was like, where can I make an impact? And I'm not just talking about in business. It goes with everything that I do. Like when I'm speaking or I'm making an impact with companies, when I'm having a conversation, I don't care if you have $1 in your pocket or you have 500 million. I'm going to talk to you with the same confidence and the same type of way because it's going to be the same outcome. And when I'm having conversations with people and I'm meeting people like yourself, I expect to meet people like you because I've done the hard work. And that's where a lot of people, when you say that having really famous people on a podcast, they everyone's heard their story. Everyone's heard that story, been there, certain they heard it. Okay, now can you make an impact? So what I'm asking questions is when I come on someone's show, I'm speaking to your audience. That's who I'm speaking to. I'm not just talking to you. That's when I decided to, launch the podcast. I've been asked for years, Dave. I've been always behind the scenes. Been
yeah,
behind the scenes for so long, but now that podcast is, launched. Now I'm getting messages from, major players in a game, yourself included, we're aligned, right, with that powerful force that they can't not tell me no.
yeah.
They can't because I'm going to bring so much value to their customers or their audiences. So that's the impact that we have on people that we sometimes overlook it. And I believe it's a skill you have to develop over the years.
Yeah, and you're seeking that through others, and you're recognizing, you're acknowledging, and you're remembering, which means
Mhm.
bringing us together with
Yeah.
that emotional objective of of this feeling,
Hmm.
and allowing people to have a feeling and to then equate it to value, which is a very difficult thing to do in sales.
Hmm.
But I think better than ever, and this is just alive. But I will tell you, value wise, if anyone's out there that's watching this and doesn't share it with somebody, this
Right.
is nuggets. These are bombs. These are things that will change your life. I don't know which one of these things will impact you, but there's enough unpacking in the last 20 minutes to go
Right.
ahead and
Right.
give you an MBA a day, because this is the stuff that I live by.
Hmm.
The idea that everything comes through us in an abundant universe for others. And we were talking about that earlier. Man, any last pieces of wisdom that you could share with us before we let you go?
I appreciate you saying that, and I'm blessed that obviously I have you. I'm very grateful. One last thing that I can give to anyone: find whatever energy source you have to where you get your energy from the recycle. Like people ask me all the time, Dave's like, what? How do you stay so energized, man? I mean, I don't. But when I get more energy because I'm transferring my energy into someone else, and I'm seeing the impact that I'm having with them. Now it's coming back and recycling back in me, and if I can give anyone any kind of advice, find out whatever energy source you have, and find every way possible to always be plugged into that shit because that's where your passion and everything comes from, and that's where people feel you. So if I can leave anybody with anything, that's the one message I would do. But yeah, just reach out to me anytime you need me, man, and we'll come on and we'll do other things, catch lightning in a bottle. I appreciate you having me on for sure.
Heck yeah, man. Where can everybody catch the Win Effect podcast?
Yeah,
Where's the
for
best
sure.
place?
For sure. The best I mean, we're on every platform, Apple, Spotify, just the Win Effect. You catch us on social media. Instagram's probably the biggest one, at the Win Effect, and with Wes Bays, of course, my co-host, and obviously having him on. He's just that kid. I'm more proud of him than I am his biggest fan, bro. I'm his
That's
biggest
good.
fan. He's such an amazing guy. So, but other than that,
Elevate others to elevate yourself. Chris Ross here, he motivates, he transfers that and inspires. Those are three things. Motivation will get you up, get you back up, get you started, get you restarted. But understanding the flow of being in spirit with others, that's the key. Chris Ross, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it, my friend.
Always. Take care. Be safe, okay?
Blessings.
Right, peace out. All right,
you too. Right on. All right, check us out. Did a great podcast with them. It launched on Monday. Let's take a couple questions and let's get ready for tomorrow. Training. If you haven't registered for the free training, it's free. The replays are free, but you got to register 949-298-2905 or just email me, david@themeltzer.com. We really enjoy having you. I think over 15,000 people, like I said, registered for last week's alone. So a lot more than the 50 people that used to come in and get free lunch from me. 20 years I've been doing training. So love to have you. We're going to do it on how to turn your setbacks into setups. How to turn your setbacks into setups. Everybody has setbacks. Let's take advantage of taking them to a better place or making your place better. I see Mike Diamond. He is the diamond in the rough. My man. Hello, Mikey. You're the man. All right, take a question here. We got a few minutes left. Here we go. Have you studied anything in the NLP space? Yes, I have. Big on meditation, theta healing, quantum healing. I'm a quantum healer. Definitely check out NLP. It's a great way to practice quieting the mind. Practice quieting the mind with NLP. I have so many interests. Good. How can I find one thing that gives me drive or flow? Well, what I would do is take inventory of your values and prioritize those multiple things that you have by those values each day and give priority to the one that is most aligned with the values that you have. I just use math. That's the best way, and be consistent every day, persistent without quit, and pursuing the potential of that. Do you practice writing goals and affirmations? Yes. Writing, speaking, thinking, acting upon them. Every single day, I practice that for sure. I take the aggregate of what I think, say, do, and believe, and understand them in the context of my unconscious competency, my DNA, my potential, and effectuate those aligned with my values, personal, experiential, giving, and receiving values. Very, very practiced and disciplined in that manifestation to take what I want, which then becomes a possibility, a mathematical advantage over nothingness, get inspired, take my possibility, make it a probability, and then use discipline, strategy, and awareness to what? Make my probability my perspective or my reality. Only one thing stands in the way between me and what I want, me. What was your biggest deal you closed, and did you shock yourself by closing it? Never shocked myself. So I've done multi-million-dollar deals and haven't always got paid for the bigger deals that I've done. But I've been a part of them as a CEO, as a consultant, and one of the proudest deals that I did was with Elevator Pitch. There was so many egos involved, so many varying interests, diverse interests, and to get that show off the ground, to get all the episodes done with a variety of players, to allow the egos to be fed, and for the show to come off the way it did. That's one of my biggest successes. Of course, I also assisted in, and I didn't make that much money, but I assisted in taking a company public after I left the phone business in San Diego, and that was a big deal. I think it opened at $6 and went to $33. That was a big one. Anyway, multiple deals is there. I'm 30. Is it late? No. Think about segmentation. Whatever age you are, think about segmentation. Think about what if it takes a year to double one segment of what you're doing. So if you make $2 year one, let's say you're 30, and you keep doubling $2 every single year for 20 years. So when you're 50, you'll be making $2 million. And when you're 51, you'll be making $4 million, and so on and so on and so on. Never too late. If you're 70, it'll just happen by 90. That's fine. Kate, happy Thursday. I love seeing you on there. You are just such an amazing person. What's your goal for 2020, 2030? To empower over 1 billion people to be happy. That's easy. And to grow my training to help people for free, to empower them. Does spirituality play a part in your life? Absolutely. I blend the pragmatic world with the spiritual world all the time. Faith is a construct. It is an energy. It is a currency to me. It's an object of energy that I put into the flow to get what I want. That's what faith is. That's what spirituality is. How do you find what career I'm passionate? How do I find what career? Sorry. How do I find what career I'm passionate about? So once again, start by being more interested than interesting, asking people that you think are in positions that you want, and pick one, knowing that you're not going to be in the position that you want to be in when you start, and then angle towards positions that you want, and then end up somewhere better. That's exactly how I could reverse engineer or connect the dots backwards on my career. Started where I didn't want, selling legal research online, kept angling to where I wanted to be, and then exceeded my own expectations and dreams by being consistent, persistent in the pursuit of that potential, by taking inventory of my values every day, asking and attracting, doing it now, being a student in my calendar, and practicing ending fear, all which I still practice today. How do you delegate things? I delegate things by what's most important first, aligned with my values, and then what's urgent. I think Roosevelt said that. I'm stealing that from somebody. What's your biggest lesson from pitch competitions? People don't ask for what they want. That's always been my biggest lesson. People ask for what you want. Don't just pitch me. Ask for what you want, or I won't know what you want. I won't know if I can help you. How do you simplify complex ideas to explain them? Study them. So every day for an hour and a half in the morning, hour and a half in the evening, I have a study period and I study them. What does that mean? I pay attention to them. I give them intention to create the coincidences I want. The more that I study something, the simpler it gets. The universe loves simple. Quote that one because it's true. The universe loves simple, and the only way that you get to simple is to study it. Attention plus intention is the formula of luck. It equals luck, coincidence. Awesome. All right, let's take one more question, and then we will see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, only if you register, david@dmeltzer.com. Join my text community, 949-298-2905. Get my free books, get my free exercise, get the replays of the training. Let me help you help yourself. All right, let's get to the last question here. Why do companies want to know what can I bring them rather than what it is they want from me? You're asking the wrong questions if you think companies want to know that. You need to ask those questions. You need to find not only what service or value you can provide, but what service or value they can provide you, or who they know that can provide you. You need to ask the hard questions, open-ended questions, lead them with the closed-ended questions to find out what you want. All right, we're going to turn every set back into your setup tomorrow. That's what we're going to do. 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's free. Please join me. It's free. David@dmeltzer.com, 949-298-2905. Thank you for joining me. As always, midday live. We're mixing it up. That's the way we roll. Roll, R-O-L-L. Anyway, everybody knows how I like to end. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thank you.